Hi there, and welcome to the overhaul project dubbed the Balance Patch for Test 3 MP. This video is going to give you a brief overview of what you can expect when you download this patch, and how it's going to make your Test 3 MP multiplayer experience that much more enjoyable. I want to start off by saying that Test 3 MP in its vanilla state is completely fine and playable. There's nothing that's obligating you to download this patch if all you're wanting to do is just play through Morrowind comprehensively with your friends. However, if you desire a more multiplayer themed experience, that is, PvP, PvE, and a more balanced community sort of project, then this is probably the multiplayer mod for you. So let's get to why this patch is actually needed. Vanilla Morrowind is regarded quite simply as a classic, and to this day many longtime fans of the Elder Scrolls series still hold Morrowind up as the greatest of the Elder Scrolls games. However, some of the aspects that work for a single-player experience don't necessarily work when translated over to sharing the experience with other players. Examples of these features include a leveling system that more or less focuses every player to opt for a min-max build, abilities that paralyze an opponent for 10 to 15 seconds, reflect abilities that will result in a player essentially one-shotting themselves, and an acrobatic system that actually puts Quake's bunny hopping to shame. Now, without further ado, let's hop right into what changes this overhaul has in store for the players. The first and probably most important part of this overhaul is how it affects the leveling system. In Vanilla Morrowind, you level up by using major and minor skills, and upon reaching 10 levels gained in these respective skills, resting levels you up. 10% of your endurance stat is dumped directly into your health pool each time you level. Players can potentially grow their health pool from a meager 40 to 50 hit points to over 800 if done with absolute efficiency. While this works for a single-player experience where players are free to level as they see fit, in a multiplayer environment where PvP is desired, this system heavily favors those who opt for a Master of Everything build. This isn't necessarily because of the wider skill kit their characters will possess, but simply due to the vast disparity between health pools. Even if a level 75 character has half of the combat efficiency of a level 25 character, there's still a 500 hit point imbalance between the two characters. This overhaul changes that, and players can now opt for what I call a specialty build. In short, players will only have to level the skills that they really desire to level to remain viable. This is because the health pool of each character is simply determined during your character creation process. This health pool is unchanging when leveling up, so players who choose to opt for a Master of Everything build will still gain the advantages of having higher attributes and more skills to choose from, but no longer will be able to rely on a 500 to 600 point health advantage against a character who simply wanted to be a heavy armor wearing archer. Birth signs have also been reworked completely to, actually be functional. In the vanilla game, most of them were crap, and outside of a few useful ones, didn't offer much variation. One such example is the Serpent. In the vanilla game, picking the Serpent simply gives you a poison dot that injures you and your target. That's it. It's absolute garbage and has no use outside of the first few levels. Now, however, the Serpent gives players a constant 30 points of Night Eye, a permanent plus 15 to their willpower, 2 powerful magic spells, Viper Bolt, and Toxic Field. You'll be able to see a full list of birth sign changes by clicking on the link in the mod page down below. Imbalanced artifact weapons and armor have been balanced out. Every type of weapon, be it a one-handed club or a two-handed axe, now all have powerful artifact weapons that are directly relatable to each other. Several new weapons have also been implemented, including Clutterbane, Wings of the Queen of Bats, Ripfang, Akatosh's Bolter, and Talos' Ultra Greatsword. Also, seemingly useless items like the Mantle of Woe have been reworked to assist their respective playstyles. In this case, the Mantle of Woe now provides a constant buff to the wearer's maximum magicka, as well as providing sizable boosts to their conjuration and destruction schools. Racial passives have been reworked to try and tailor to incentivize some variation between players. The Orcs are the hardiest of races and have the largest health pool, as well as a slight bonus to maximum fatigue. Conversely, the Bosmer are one of the most frail races, but their new passive, Goliath's Bane, gives them a permanent boost to their agility and marksman skills. Armor values have been rebalanced as well. Medium armor got some much needed love, as it lacked any true endgame armor. Light armor also received some work, and heavy armor was in a good spot. Previously useless weapons, like spears and staves, have been given sizable buffs to allow for players to utilize these weapons and not be victims of self-sabotage. 103 player houses have been implemented where players can keep their extra loot in a safe space. When a home is purchased, only you will be able to enter it, and you'll be able to decorate it with anything in your inventory. The maximum amount of gold that any merchant will have is 500. Repair prices from NPCs have also been raised. These two things were done to prevent players from quickly amassing huge fortunes by selling items to NPCs, mainly through stealing items through the, admittedly, old AI. Treasure hunting and trading between players will now be important, and players who wish to be merchants and smiths will now have a place in the world. All skill gains have been boosted to at least twice their vanilla speed. Marksman, being a pain in the butt to level, has been set to 4 times the vanilla skill gains, and Speechcraft and Mercantile skills have been boosted by as much as 10 to 20 times the vanilla speed. This was done to help alleviate the grind now that it won't be easy to simply steal items, acquire gold, and pay trainers to instantly raise your skills. New content implemented also includes raid-style dungeons. Tears of Amanche, Iberdad, Budengrado, Abanabi, and 2 previously unutilized world spaces have been loaded up with powerful enemies and wicked loot. Tears of Amanche, for example, has 10 enemies in the vanilla game, with 2 of them being considered quote-unquote bosses. It now houses over 70 hostiles that are stronger and faster than their vanilla counterparts, and the bosses have received sizable buffs as well. The loot at the end has also accordingly been buffed, making it a fun and interesting experience for first-timers. The first world boss, King Kuthane, has also been implemented. He spawns in cell 113 and is currently the only quote-unquote boss-style enemy to not have set loot. He will guarantee 10k in gold, which will make him a highly contested farming spot, and he also drops weapons and armor from the Daedric, Glass, Orcish, and Dwemer loot tables. Quality of life changes have also been implemented as well. Players will now start with a basic self-heal, a fatigue regeneration spell, a magic regeneration spell, and a powerful heal other, which was sorely lacking from the vanilla game. These spells have a 100% success rate and cannot fail. The projectile speed of arrows, bolts, and trajectory-based magicka have all been substantially increased to allow for the viability against players squiggling around. Acrobatics has been nerfed to the point where sprinting is now the fastest way to move around as opposed to bunny hopping endlessly. Potions now heal for almost 0. Alcohol is now a roleplay item where drinking too much will literally cause your character to black out. Broken and abusable enchantments like paralysis, permanent damage to attributes, reflect, and chameleon have been largely squashed out. I can't guarantee that every single type of these items have been adjusted, as there are literally thousands of entries to go through and I am simply one man, but a large number of them have been addressed. I encourage players to provide me with the relevant item information when they find items such as these that have not been fixed appropriately. And that's pretty much the quick version of all the changes. I tried to condense it down to be as quick and concise as possible, but you can find the exact details of everything that's been changed in the patch notes on the Nexus page. As far as how to install the patch, simply unpack the contents of the zip file into your Morrowind/data files folder. You'll know it's in the right place if you see Morrowind.esm in the same place as balancepatch.esp. Once you've done this, simply navigate to your OpenMW launcher, click on Data Files, and enable balancepatch.esp. Then, when browsing through the server lists, look for HKM PvP server. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in game.